Good evening, aspirants. Welcome to daily news analysis of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 28th of March 2024. Displayed here are the articles that we're going to discuss today. So as you can see, we have taken articles from different newspapers. So let's begin the discussion. Look at this article. India has released second tranche of 500 crore to Bhutan for the development of infrastructure related to its Gyaltsang project. Moreover, India agreed to provide 10,000 crore to Bhutan over next 5 years. This is the crux of this article. In this slide, let us discuss the Gyaltsang project from the prelims perspective. Firstly, what do you mean by the Gyaltsang project? See, Gyaltsang project is a capacity building program for Bhutanese youth. It is designed to be 1 year integrated training program which is mandatory for all youths when they attain the age of 18. Know that this will include 3 months of basic military training followed by national education, life skills, specialized training in various fields like home construction technologies, computing, entrepreneurship, skill development in agriculture, etc. Now let us see some of the objectives of the program. It aims to provide direction to Bhutanese youth to be strong, independent thinkers capable of serving their country. Also, it aims to develop amongst young Bhutanese people with the personal attributes and professional skills which are relevant to the 21st century. As per the current estimate of Bhutanese government, currently 13,000 youth will go through this training every year. The training for this program will take place simultaneously in 4 national service academies which are located across the country. Also note that Gyaltsang Infra Company has been established as a separate organization to carry out design works and building infrastructure for the 5 academies. So this is all about this Gyaltsang project. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this article. Recently, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare released a report called India TB Report 2024. The findings of the report are quite optimistic. It shows that due to India's efforts in early tuberculosis detection and treatment, there has been a decline of 16% in the incidence of TB. It also found that there is a 18% reduction in the mortality since 2015. So this is about the news article. In this context, let us see some of the points about TB and the steps taken by the government to curb the TB. Firstly, what is tuberculosis? TB is a contagious infection caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It primarily affects the lungs, but in rare cases, it can also affect other parts of the body like brain, kidney or spine. The transmission mechanism of TB is that it spreads through the air when someone with TB in the lungs or throat cough, sneezes or talks. So close contact with someone who has active TB can put you at risk of TB. However, it is important to note that not everyone who is exposed to bacteria becomes sick. People with strong immune systems can fight off the infection. People with weakened immune system, on the other hand, are more likely to become infected. Now, what are the symptoms of TB? Common symptoms include persistent coughing for more than 3 weeks, chest pain, coughing up blood or phlegm, fatigue, weight loss, fever, and night sweats. The above mentioned symptoms are common when the Mycobacterium tuberculosis infects the lung. As TB can also affect other parts of the body, there are other symptoms depending on the area affected. Now, is there a vaccine against TB? Yes, there is a vaccine called Bacilli calmette-guerin (BCG) vaccine. It is used in many countries with high prevalence of TB to prevent severe forms of the disease, particularly in children. The BCG vaccine does not provide complete protection against TB, but it can help to lessen the severity of the disease, mainly in childhood. It is important to note that the BCG vaccine might not be as effective in preventing TB in adults. Here note that in addition to the BCG vaccine, maintaining a healthy lifestyle can help prevent a TB infection. Finally, is there a cure for TB? TB can be cured by taking the appropriate antibiotics. The common antibiotics that are used in the treatment of TB are isoniazid, bedaquiline, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, and ethambutol. So these are some preliminary related facts about TB. Moving forward, let us see some steps taken by the Indian government to combat tuberculosis. Firstly, we have the National Strategic Plan for Tuberculosis Elimination. The National Strategic Plan was launched in the year 2017. The goal of the plan is to achieve a rapid decline in TB related deaths and also eliminate TB from India by 2025. It adopts strategies under 4 groups: detect, treat, prevent and build. Then there is a Nikshay Mitra initiative. Actually, Nikshay Mitra is a portal for donors to provide various forms of support to those undergoing TB treatment. The donors through this portal can provide nutritional, diagnostic and vocational support. Anyone suffering from TB in India can register their details in the said portal and ask for help. Finally, there is a Nikshay Poshan Yojana. This scheme is under the Ministry of Health Family Welfare. See, it is a nutrition support scheme. Under the scheme, the government provides 500 rupees through direct DBT to TB patients to help with their nutritional needs. So these are all some of the steps taken by the government to combat tuberculosis in India. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this article. This article talks about the agreement on Investment Facilitation for Development, IFD. So in this news article discussion, let us understand a few facts about IFD and what is India's view regarding it. So first, let us understand what is IFD. See, the Joint Initiative on the Investment Facilitation for Development, IFD, aims at developing a global agreement that will enhance the transparency and efficiency of investment regulations and procedures. This will make the participating economies more efficient and attractive to foreign investors in all sectors. So what is the purpose or need for such arrangement? See, this arrangement has been made in the recognition of the fact that trade and investments are the twin engines of economic growth and sustainable development. So, IFD aims to facilitate investments by making it easier for investors to make new investments, conduct their day-to-day business, and expand their current investments. It also encourages collaboration and mutual benefit between host and home governments. Remember, the focus of IFD initiative is not on changing members' investment policies in substance, but on making such investment policies more transparent and investment-related administrative procedures more streamlined and efficient. In simple words, instead of liberalizing trade policies, WTO through IFD aims to make investment flows between governments transparent, efficient, long-term and sustainable by eliminating constraints. So what is the current status of this agreement? See, the negotiations for an IFD agreement is at WTO were launched in 2017 on a plurilateral basis by 70 countries. It was finalized in November 2023. Today, around 120 out of 166 WTO member countries, that is more than 70% of membership, back the IFD agreement. The agreement invites all members of WTO to join and is binding only on those participating members. So this is about the status of agreement. Now let us see what is India's view regarding the agreement. See, India has opposed the agreement, terming it a non-trade issue that lay beyond the scope of WTO. Secondly, India criticizes the process followed to make the IFD agreement a part of WTO rulebook. Indian officials believe that IFD is primarily an agreement among the Belt and Road Initiative countries and is led by vested interests. They assert that consultations among WTO members need to be conducted before considering such proposals. The move has actually introduced unpredictability into the WTO system, and that is why India is opposing it. So that is all about Investment Facilitation for Development, IFD. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this article. It says that the decline in India's net FDI inflows, that is foreign direct investments, had dropped almost 31% to $25.5 billion over the first 10 months of 2023 to 2024. Moreover, it says that this was in line with the slowdown in such investments amongst the other developing countries. This is the crux of this article. In our discussion, let us understand about FDI from the prelims perspective. So what do you mean by FDI? Technically, FDI is a class of investment made by a person or a firm who is resident outside India in the capital instruments of an Indian company. See, these are investments made with the intention of establishing a lasting interest. Note that this lasting interest differentiates FDI from foreign portfolio investments where investors passively hold securities from a foreign country. Now let us see the basic characteristics of FDI. See, FDI are the class of investments which are done in an unlisted Indian company or in 10% or more of the equity capital of a listed Indian company. Note an important exception that an investor may be allowed to invest below the 10% threshold and still it can be treated as FDI. These statements sound contradictory, right? The rationale is if the FDI stake are raised to 10% or beyond within 1 year from the date of the first purchase. On the contrary, if the stake is not raised to 10% or above, then the investment shall be treated as portfolio investment. Moreover, in case an existing FDI falls to a below 10%, it can continue to be treated as FDI. Remember this with the saying, once an FDI, always an FDI. Moreover, know that there are two routes of FDI, an automatic route and government route. Firstly, with respect to automatic route, no prior permission is needed for investing, thereby resulting in minimal monitoring. Under this route, the investor just need to inform the RBI after the investment has been made. Know that in India, FDI up to 100% is permitted for agriculture, manufacturing, airports, e-commerce, pharmaceuticals and railway infrastructures through this route. Secondly, with respect to government route, prior to the investment, approval from the Government of India is required. Know that it is permitted in sectors like defense and telecom, mining and print media. Before concluding, we shall see about some additional features which are relevant for the prelims exam. See, FDI generally happens through the primary market. Unlike FPI, they are sector specific in nature. As we all know, FDI is a long-term investment. To achieve this, there is a lock-in period, and during this period, the foreign investor cannot sell his investments. Moreover, this makes FDI quite stable. Lastly, FDI can happen in three ways. First, by purchase of shares. Second, by forming a joint venture company. Third, by establishing a subsidiary company. So that's all about FDI. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this editorial article. The article discusses India's stance and strategic considerations regarding the Taiwan-China conflict. It emphasizes India's interest in maintaining the status quo across Taiwan Strait, highlighting the economic ties between India and Taiwan, potential catastrophic consequences of a conflict between China and Taiwan. Let us discuss the important points mentioned in this article using our mains answer writing practice. So, this topic comes under GS paper 2. Look at the mains question. How preventing China-Taiwan conflict is important for India and what India can do to resolve it. Give your comment. So this is a straightforward question. Let us start with the introduction. India benefits from current peaceful status quo between Taiwan and China due to significant trade ties and investments, including the potential for a free trade agreement and semiconductor manufacturing collaboration. Any conflict over Taiwan would severely disrupt global trade, impacting India's economy and crucial sectors like electronics and pharmaceuticals. In this way, we can stress the importance of Taiwan for India's interest. Now we shall discuss the body of the answer. First, we shall explain why Taiwan is important for India. Next, we will explain what India can do to prevent China-Taiwan conflict. Starting with the India-Taiwan relations. Firstly, economic cooperation. Bilateral trade between India and Taiwan has witnessed a rise from $1.19 billion in 2001 to $8.45 billion in 2022. For example, 106 Taiwanese companies have invested $1.5 billion across various sectors in India, including IT, medical devices, and automobile components. Secondly, science and technology cooperation. An MOU on science and technology cooperation was signed in 2007, resulting in 115 projects, joint proposals, and 25 agriculture, healthcare, and disaster management seminars. Thirdly, education collaboration. An MOU with the Association of Indian Universities facilitates mutual recognition of academic degrees, fostering research collaboration. At present, 26 Taiwan education centers are established in different Indian universities where instructions from Taiwan impart Mandarin language instruction. Fourthly, cultural exchanges. Cultural exchanges between Taiwan and India have grown significantly. For example, Taiwan films are now a regular feature at major Indian film festivals each year. The India-Taiwan Parliamentary Friendship Forum was established in 2016 as a formal platform for fostering friendship. Now moving on to see the second part of the answer. Here we shall discuss how India can help to mitigate China-Taiwan crisis. For India, preventing a conflict between China and Taiwan is of paramount importance due to several strategic imperatives, and there are proactive steps that India can take to mitigate the risk and promote stability in the region. Firstly, diplomatic engagement. India can engage in diplomatic efforts aimed at de-escalating tensions between China and Taiwan. This could involve advocating for dialogue and negotiations to resolve disputes peacefully and encouraging regional stakeholders to play a constructive role in conflict mediation. Secondly, economic cooperation. India can deepen economic cooperation with Taiwan through trade, investment, and technology collaboration. Strengthening economic ties can incentivize stability and mutual prosperity, reducing the likelihood of conflict by enhancing interdependence among regional actors. Thirdly, multilateral initiatives. India can support multilateral initiatives aimed at promoting peace and security in Asia-Pacific region. Participation in forums like Quad and ASEAN-led mechanisms can provide platforms for dialogue, confidence building, and conflict prevention among regional stakeholders. Fourthly, strategic partnership. India can strengthen its strategic partnership, particularly with the United States and like-minded democracies, to uphold a rule-based international order and deter aggression in the Indo-Pacific. Enhanced defense cooperation and intelligence sharing can contribute to deterrence and stability in the region. Fifthly, crisis management. India can develop mechanism for crisis management and confidence-building measures to address contingencies arising from tensions in the Taiwan Strait. This could include hotline communication channels, joint exercises, and capacity building assistance to regional partners. Now let us see the conclusion part. Here we can discuss what are the available policy options for India. Leveraging legal arguments to counter Chinese claims and support Taiwan's autonomy. Next, crafting narratives opposing China's aggression to dissuade military action. Next, working with other nations to convey a unified message against aggression and in support of the status quo. Implementing measures to reduce economic vulnerabilities and dependencies that could be exploited by China. In conclusion, preventing conflict in the Taiwan Strait is essential for safeguarding India's economic interest, ensuring regional stability, and upholding its broader strategic objectives in the Indo-Pacific. So that's all about the mains answer writing practice. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this article. India and UK are negotiating an FTA to establish new trade partnership post-Brexit. India's recent fast-track approach to signing FTAs aimed to dispel perceptions of protectionism, especially after withdrawing from RCEP negotiations. The article talks about the insights on the impact of past FTAs to inform current trade discussions and aim trading firms. Let us see the possible outcomes of this trade deal one by one. Firstly, the impact on bilateral trade. Bilateral trade between India and the UK exceeded $57 billion, with India enjoying trade surplus. Post-Brexit, the UK is actively seeking to secure trade deals with key partners globally, positioning the FTA with India as a crucial component of its post-EU trade strategy. This FTA will further boost bilateral trade flows benefiting both countries. Secondly, merchandise trade dynamics. Majority of India's exports to the UK already enter tariff-free, while certain goods like textiles and automobiles face tariffs. India may reduce tariffs on UK imports, potentially benefiting industries such as automotive and wine. Thirdly, service trade. India seeks greater market access for its IT and software companies in the UK. The UK may push for liberalization in sectors like telecommunications and financial services. While a significant portion of India's exports to the UK enters the market tariff-free, certain sectors like textiles and automobiles face tariffs limiting their competitiveness. Through the FTA, India may seek to reduce or eliminate tariffs on imports from the UK, especially in sectors where Indian exports face market access barriers, potentially boosting trade volumes and enhancing market access for both countries. Fourthly, challenges and complexities in negotiations. Negotiations cover various non-trade issues like data localization, environmental standards, and intellectual property rights. India aims to protect its digital economy, generic pharmaceutical industry, and policy flexibility amidst UK's push for stringent standards and TRIPS Plus provisions. Fifthly, bilateral investment treaty. Negotiations on a BIT are intertwined with the FTA, with differences in approach needing resolution. So finalizing the BIT is crucial for concluding the FTA. Lastly, there was concerns regarding UK's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism (CBAM). Implementation of Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism by the UK may impact Indian exports with potential tariffs, necessitating clarity before finalizing the FTA. The author emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability in the trade policy formulation, urging the government to share insights on the impact of past FTAs. Overall, the article highlights the complexities and challenges in India-UK FTA negotiations, spanning various trade and non-trade issues, and underscores the importance of transparency and accountability in the trade policy formulation. So that's all about India-UK Free Trade Agreement. So with this, let us see some other articles in the news. First, the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, is working to create new guidelines for treating lung cancer because there is no guidelines in India for its prevention, detection or treatment. Lung cancer is a major health issue in India, causing lot of deaths. The ICMR plans to use systematic reviews and research to build these guidelines to help doctors treat lung cancer more effectively and improve patient outcomes. That's it. Next article. Here the RBI has updated the rules for financial institutions regarding their investments in alternative investment funds, AIFs. Now, these institutions only need to make financial provisions for the part of their investment in an AIF that is directly invested in companies owing them money, rather than on their entire investment in the AIF. This change is meant to streamline the process and address the concerns from stakeholders, ensuring that investments in things like hybrid instruments are included, except for direct equity investments in debtor companies. This move is part of RBI's efforts to prevent the practice of evergreening loans, where loans are extended to help borrowers avoid default. That's it. Next article. This is a business standard news. Starting from Thursday, India will begin testing same-day trade settlement, that is T+0, with the pilot on 25 selected stocks. This move to a T+0 settlement, which allows the completion of a trades on the same day, follows the implementation of a next day T+1 settlement cycle. The same day settlement will be optional and run alongside the T+1 cycle, but not all investors may benefit immediately, as some large brokers, including Motilal Oswal Financial Service and Axis Securities, will not offer this option from the start due to system readiness issues. Only a selected list of highly liquid stocks has been chosen for this test to ensure smooth transactions and minimal impact on stock prices. That's it. Next article is about Rohingyas. We all know that Rohingyas, a Muslim minority from Myanmar, are fleeing prosecution and violence in their homeland, where they are denied citizenship and rights. Facing dire conditions in overcrowded refugee camps in Bangladesh, many are risking their lives on dangerous sea journeys to reach Muslim minority countries like Indonesia and Malaysia, seeking safety and a better life. Despite high risks and rising death tolls, the desperate situation leaves them with little choice but to undertake these perilous voyages, often falling prey to human traffickers. So with this, let us move on to the prelims practice question discussion. Look at the first question. Consider the following statements about tuberculosis. Multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, that is MDR-TB, is a form of TB caused by bacteria that do not respond first-line anti-TB drugs. Yes, this statement is correct. Next, extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis, that is XDR-TB, is a form of TB caused by bacteria that do not respond to second-line anti-TB drugs. Yes, this statement is also correct. Third, the countries with the largest share of incident cases of MDR-TB in 2021 was India. This statement is also correct. Here all the statements are correct, so the answer is option C, all three. Next question. Consider the following about foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment. First, unlike FDI, FPI is sector specific in nature. This statement is incorrect because FDI is sector specific in nature. It will be invested in sectors like insurance, defense, etc. FPI is not sector specific. It is invested generally. So next statement, if the investment holding in an FDI comes below 10%, then holdings are reclassified as FPI. This statement is incorrect because once an investment is considered as FDI, it is always an FDI. Next, unlike FDI, FPI investors have no control over the ventures or direct ownership of property or a stake in the company. This statement is correct. Here, they're asking which of the above can be included in foreign direct investments. So here, first and second statements are incorrect. So the answer is option B, 3 only. Next question. Which country is associated with Gyalsang infrastructure project for which India provided a grant of 2 billion rupees? Yes. So here the answer is option B, Bhutan. So next question. Consider the following statements. First, United Kingdom comprises of England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland. This statement is incorrect because United Kingdom comprises of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, not whole Ireland. Here Great Britain includes England, Wales and Scotland. Next, the United Kingdom is bordered by Baltic Sea in the east. This statement is also incorrect because it is bordered by North Sea in the east. So here they are asking which are all the statements are incorrect. So the answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Displayed here is the mains practice question for you today. Understand the question and try to answer it in the comment section. With this, we come to the end of this news article discussion. If you like the video, do like, share and subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy. Thank you so much for watching.